News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A convicted murderer from Washington State nabbed in a Home Depot parking lot in Missoula with a pound of meth. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Tuesday, May 5th. Yes, it is Cinco de Mayo. So I hope you have a wonderful day today. It's cloudy and 49 degrees in Missoula, and we're aiming for a high of about 66 before the day is done. Our newscast this morning, sponsored by Dig It Excavating, bringing 30 years of excellence to every job. Call 214-4292. Two Washington State residents, one a convicted murderer, were arrested in the Missoula Home Depot parking lot last Thursday on drug charges. Deputy Missoula County Attorney James McCubbin provides these details.
And they have been charged with 2 counts each of possession of dangerous drugs with intent to distribute. I believe it's 20 years is a maximum sentence on each count.
McCubbin says a confidential source told Missoula police about the upcoming drug deal with the 2 individuals from Washington State.
We had some information about that, led to the officers stopping the vehicle when it arrived here, and a search warrant was obtained, and they searched the vehicle, found about a pound of methamphetamine and approximately 2 ounces of cocaine.
The Seattle Times reports Cotton was convicted of murder as an adult at the age of 13 and was placed in juvenile detention until the age of 21. Both appeared via video in Missoula Justice Court yesterday. Cotton was placed in jail on $150,000 bond, while Rogers was released after posting $10,000 bail. A Louisiana company is asking a judge to resolve its lawsuit, challenging the government's suspension of an oil and gas lease near Montana's Glacier Park so that the company can begin drilling this summer. The 6,200-acre lease is on land sacred to the Blackfeet tribes of the U.S. and Canada. It was suspended by the U.S. Interior Department in the 1990s, along with dozens of other leases in the area. Owner Solonex of Baton Rouge requested in a recent court filing that U.S. District Judge Richard Leon expedite the company's lawsuit. Attorney Stephen Lechner said if drilling doesn't commence by August, Solonex must wait another year to begin the work because of restrictions on when it can drill. Blackfeet leaders want Interior Secretary Sally Jewell to cancel the lease. U.S. Health and Human Services Department has expressed concerns over Montana's Medicaid expansion bill, which was signed last week. Governor Steve Bullock's spokesman Dave Parker says the governor's office is not worried that these concerns will kill the plan.
This is not unexpected at all. Every state that has applied for a waiver of some sort had to negotiate with the federal government and explain exactly what they're trying to do, as we are now.
Parker was asked if pressure from the federal government might require changes in the way Montana's Medicaid expansion bill is written.
I don't think so. It's probably too early to tell that. Our guess is no, that we won't have to change anything. But, in granting these waivers, the federal government does their due diligence and studies the issue hard. And we've been talking to them about what we're trying to do and why this makes sense. And, again, we have every expectation that in the end the waiver will be granted.
One of the changes in the Montana's bill has received extra attention is the requirement for those who receive coverage to pay some portion of health care premiums. A 50-year-old Great Falls woman has been sentenced to 20 years in prison for causing the overdose death of her 1-year-old grandson back in 2013. The Great Falls Tribune reports that Tracy Ann Harless was sentenced yesterday to the maximum penalty for negligent homicide. Harless accepted a plea agreement in March. Court records say Riley Padilla died July 28th of 2013 of an overdose of the narcotic pain medication oxycodone that would have been fatal for an adult. The boy's autopsy also indicated the presence of cocaine. Charging documents say a test of Harless's blood indicated she also had oxycodone and cocaine in her system. Contractors with Mount Water have already begun a water main replacement project on South 5th that will last all summer. Chief engineer of the project, Shanna Adams, said work was just getting underway yesterday.
The project will start at Russell Street and it will move east towards Orange. They'll be closing 2 to 3 blocks at a time, and then, they'll move towards the east and then open those 2 to 3 blocks. So there should be very clearly marked traffic detours.
Adams says those who live on the affected blocks will have access to their property during the project.
Local access will be open for people that live right in that area. They'll need to talk to the superintendent on site to coordinate any special needs that they may have, but that local access will be available.
The project will replace approximately 3,700 feet of 90-year-old pipe with new 8-inch ductile main. Project engineers are working towards the goal of having no section closed for more than 3 weeks at a time, and the project should wrap up by mid-August. An expensive certification process is slimming down the list of qualified candidates to fill western Montana's many trucking jobs. The Missoulian reports industry experts have noticed local candidates cannot afford expensive commercial license certification programs, and drivers from out of state that come to Montana to train don't stay longer than a year. The full cost of certification about $3,000. Missoula College Workforce Manager Mickey Lingholm says it cannot be covered with financial aid or scholarships. Those who can pay the tuition, though, have plenty of employers to choose from. Starting in July, most Montana employers can expect to see a dip in the amount of money they need to pay for workers' compensation insurance. Montana State Fund CEO Lawrence Hubbard has more.
Workers' compensation costs for Montana and Montana small businesses have been decreased by an average of 5%. Now, that varies depending on the industry they're in. Some industries have had not such good loss experience. Those rates could go up, but on average, it'll be a reduction of 5%, and that's good for Montana small businesses. It puts money right into their pocket.
Hubbard says the latest decrease is part of a longer trend.
I think that what we're seeing, certainly since 2007, Montana State Fund has lowered its average rates by almost 40%. That's good news. That's due in part by the significant efforts Montana businesses have put into reducing workplace injuries. We can always do better, but certainly progress has been made.
The state fund received about $157 million from Montana businesses during the current fiscal year. A 5% drop means nearly $8 million has been saved. And senators from 6 states want the government to charge companies a fee to ship oil and other flammable liquids in older railroad tank cars involved in numerous fiery explosions. Senator Ron Wyden told the Associated Press on last week that the fee would be paired with tax breaks for upgrading tank cars. The Oregon Democrat says the proposal offers a market-based incentive for companies to improve safety. It's also backed by senators from California, New York, Ohio, Virginia, and Pennsylvania. Our Newstalk time now is 6:12.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies today with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Highs will top out in the mid-60s. Winds will be breezy with wind gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy and cold with our lows in the mid-30s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.